by Stargazer Luna, Archmage Antonidas, and 2 Astromancers, and the replacement being an additional Swampu, so that's 3 weapon removals, and then 2 Vex Crows and 2 Rabble Bouncers.
And
but
on Glory's side, he's taken out a Shadow Step, a Bloodseal Corsair, 2 Life Drinkers, and a Ziliax to add in a second Sap, 2 Henge Clan Thugs that we've seen have been so powerful, and 2 Walk the Planks.
Okay, well, who do you think gets the better end of the stick when it comes to these tertiary decks here?
Well, the thing is, I think that the techs of the Saps and Walk the Planks have been a lot more powerful against the old version of Conjurer's Mage, because they only develop in one thing a turn, and it's very easy, unless they, go Giant Coin Conj, but that's a whole different story. Having this sort of, one answer for one minion is good against the old Conjurer's Mage, but against this, Cyclone Mage, you end up either getting a bunch of things on board at once, like maybe mirror images into Giant and then conjuring, the Sea
also
Giant.
The Vex Crows.
Yeah, and the Vex Crows as well. I think the Vex Crows are a good addition to help combat the tech cards the Rogues are putting in. So we'll see if those pay off.
And I think on top of that, just going deep on the weapon removal, the extra ooze means you've got 3 weapon removals, which means it's less that you're going to plan on using all 3, but more that it's more likely you draw 1 or 2, which means that there's just something that he's actually going to have to deal with. And we see DawN already utilizing the fact he has extra weapon removal. This is a spare ooze, so to speak, and just saying, actually, I'm going to gain tempo here in this matchup and see what you can do, because the follow-up, Arcane Intellect, and then the Sorcerer's Apprentice, there's Ray of Frost. There's a lot that DawN can do here.
This is actually interesting. I think the reason that DawN played out the was there is that Glory didn't swing on 2, which could tip the hat off to DawN that there might be a Henge Clan Thug in hand. And against Henge Clan Thug, Mage has trouble, so playing out the Ooze there stops the Henge Clan Thug, at least from DawN's perspective, from coming out. Interestingly enough, from Glory's side, this gave him something to backstab to activate the Miscreant.
It's tough, isn't it? It's kind of upsides and downsides to both plays, and you've just got to make a decision, stick to one, I guess. Van Cleef is going to come out not as big as we used to seeing it, and DawN can make a slightly bigger giant himself.
So we're 1 turn off from being able to go Vexcro, Coin, Apprentice, and then some cheap spells. So I expect DawN to just play up the Giant. Without a Conjurer's Calling in hand, there's not a whole lot of reason to hold on to it.
You're not going to do the fancy play.
Exactly.
No, Van Cleef plus the Eviscerate, if activated with combo, will deal with this.
Tech cards aren't there, no Saps, no Walk the Plank, so this Giant's going to have to either be taken down the old-fashioned way or ignored. I'm expecting Glory to clean it up, though. Taking 8 on the noggin to keep 1/5 alive.
I do like it, to be honest.
Yeah.
At this point, the damage from Mage, often when the Mage has lethal, they've already won the game.
Oh, my goodness.
It doesn't really matter, but now...
With this pickup and the Elemental Vacation in hand, you can go Vexcro, Coin, Apprentice, and do some crazy stuff. DawN will have to keep in mind what the board looks like, because if he plays too many spells, then the Cyclone can't come down because too many minions will be generated from the Vexcro. But I think he'll be able to navigate this just fine.
Yeah, 1 more. Just play the Evocation and go, right?
Oh, he does have space to play 1 Ray of Frost if he'd like to.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. You don't need to go all in, right? Double Snap Freeze. That's going to put a stopper on any big threats that Glory have. It might not be the most mind-blowing Cyclone there with the Arcane Explosion, Snap Freeze, and the Book.
But look at the board.
Yeah, the board's great. The Book is kind of pointless, but the Snap Freeze and Arcane Explosion can still get work done.
Yeah. So holding back on the Ray of Frost, parroting with the Magic Trick pull of the Snap Freeze, gives him a way to deal with this Edwin without having to trade minions into it, which might be what why DawN held back the 1 Snap Freeze. The second half of the Ray of the Frost.
And also, after seeing Backstab and some other little pieces of removal, such as the Lackey
and Eviscerate,
yeah, it means that this board state probably isn't going to get much smaller, which means that this Sea Giant is going to get live awfully quick.
Glory has to decide how to pick away at this board and how much of it to pick away.
I think we might see very quickly, the double 3-drop this turn, and then just prep Myra's go the turn after and say, I need to do this quick.
He's got to do it now. He needs to do it now.
Ooh, okay.
He doesn't think that the 3-3 play is going to be good enough.
Well, I think either way, this game's going to be over very, very quickly here, as Glory's saying, okay, I'm pulling the trigger. There goes the Myras. What have I got to play with? And holding my breath because the rope dinged.
I wonder if he wanted, if Glory wanted to hold on to the SI before the Myras. He went prep, then Myras, then decided to SI. So it's possible he would have been looking for a waggle pick to equip this turn instead of the SI agent. The SI
or even
Nation.
if he drew a second backstab, for example, he could have done he
Right.
could have done something else as well. He didn't necessarily have to use the SI on that minion, and maybe could have saved it for face, for example.
Yep.
That
See
nice,
Giant come down.
beautiful 0 mana 8/8.
Conjurer's Calling picked up. No 10 mana taunts. 10 mana is interesting mana cost. There's a lot of cute minions you can get out here. Hakar, which would hilariously be interesting in this spot, but not quite what he's looking for.
Well, it would be nuts, right? Because he would Hakar and then Conjurer's Calling it.
Right, but it wouldn't cause Glory to die immediately. There'd still be some few
Yeah,
turns.
yeah. So it would only be a couple though, right? Because don't you die very quickly?
Well, you're at 18
you
as well. You might die yourself.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But you do draw you end up drawing every blood, right?
You
That's in
draw the
deck,
blood,
and
then
then you
fatigue.
fatigue.
Right.
But the more it shuffles, you end up drawing like every blood
Right.
until you fatigue. So it's only a couple of turns. Oh, the two 4/12 dragons just high-fiving there on the side, like, hey guys.
So DawN clearing up as much of the board as he can while developing as much as he can to try and set up a lethal for Glory. I don't think he wants to give Glory too many turns to be able to swing back and try to kill him.
So now I believe there needs to be a weapon setup along with the Corsair
Right.
to set up for, say, Leroy Eviscerate, for
And
example.
DawN has the Harrison ready, so he knows that if he just builds a big board and Glory commits to a weapon, that he should be able to swing the game back. Glory does not have a waggle pick. In fact, he does not have a whole lot of anything. He has Leroy Step, but he needs to find some other way to get to that point, because
So-
that does cost 8 mana.
Yeah, he would have loved just deal 2, because he would deal 2 to face, then Eviscerate, put him to 12, Leroy, Shadow Step Leroy. If he got the right lackey.
Right.
Yeah. I can't remember the deal 2. Is it just Kobold Lackey? Is that?
Yeah, Kobold
Oh,
Lackey.
it's just called Kobold Lackey? Okay, cool.
18 damage on board for DawN. With a ping, it's 19. And the second fatigue draw will kill Glory. So Glory does have to at least kill the Cloak Scale Chemist on the right to stay
Which is
alive.
fine, because he floats 1 mana anyway, right?
With the
Oh, he's
Dread
gonna
Corsair,
taunt,
it does
okay.
stop. Right.
I actually couldn't quite see, even though I should know how it works, I just didn't quite see the 1 mana cost on the Corsair because of the way the overlay is.
This should be lethal if DawN can spot it. He can use Ray of Frost plus Snap Freeze to kill the Dread Corsair. He's got 18 on board, 19 with the ping, and the 2 damage fatigue will be exactly 21 damage.
Looks good to me. Yeah,
Goes
just
for
in
the
case you
double
know what
snap
Snap Freeze does. It freezes a minion, and if it's already frozen, it kills a minion regardless of anything else. So that opens up the sheer level of insane damage he has available to him. Even with those, mediocre attack value 10
Yeah.
drops of the 2 dragons, it's still going to be enough. Boom! The fatigue finishes the game, and DawN evens it up. He is not going to be swept by Glory's Rogue, and he's going to be able to continue and fight. And honestly, have we seen a straight into it? No time for messing about. DawN keeping the Elemental Evocation. Before we get into Glory, like, what do you think about that? I mean, you play tons of Mage, right? So is this something you would do, just a single keep?
So I've thought about keeping Elemental Vacation by itself quite a bit, but I haven't played around with it just yet. It might feel a bit better on the coin because you have the chance of drawing the Giant and the Cyclone. Obviously, the Elemental Vacation with the Giant on the play isn't that great because it's still a long time before it can come online. But with the coin, it makes it a bit easier to come down. So the only reason he'd be keeping the Elemental Vacation is either for the Mana Cyclone to try and get some early card generation, or specifically for this matchup with the Tertiary deck, he might just want it with the Vexcro to create a 2-drop.
Yeah, sure. Just on turn 4, just play Vexcro
Perhaps.
into that and just say, you know what, a 3/3 and a 2-drop is actually just enough in some cases. Okay, so Glory, as always. Oh, wow, he doesn't have a miscreant in his opening hand. First time for everything. But there is a walk the plank. We see it. It exists.
exists, yeah.
It is there. And most importantly, there's also follow-up with this raiding party as well.
Classic turn to ping from DawN. Well, from the Mage, I'd say. That happens a lot.
no matter what class DawN plays, is like ping.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
how? How? He's playing Warrior. Ping, turn 2. You're like, what? Okay, Conjurer's Call. At least he's got it locked in now, so he does have it available. But I will say, just triple weapon removal, I feel like nullifies so much of the power plays from Glory and the Rogue here. That, you know, this raiding party normally fantastic. Well, we can see at least that it's already going to be removed a little bit, or it could be if DawN didn't make this play, very similar to the previous game.
Yeah. From Glory's side, having 2 deadly poisons, keeping the dagger on 2 charges does make a lot of sense in case he wants to a deadly poison to kill out just an apprentice coming out, perhaps.
This is pretty nutty, though. He could actually just prep raiding party, see which pirates he gets. Then either dagger and just deckhand to kill the 3/2, or coin the weapon and say maybe double Corsair.
Looks like he's going to settle on just dagger deadly.
Okay. I guess he's trying to just make as many weapons as possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to go super tall in one weapon. You can go across many weapons.
If 2 deadly poisons count as 2 more weapons, then technically DawN has, Glory has 1 weapon that will not be removed by a hard weapon removal. A classic turn 4 ping from DawN.
Of course. No arcane intellect. This is one of the cases where it's difficult for the mage to come back. You're on the play. You don't have coin. You don't have the extra card. If you don't have enough cards that can string together to make a sort of game plan, you could fall apart.
Yeah, it's looking kind of tough, isn't it? This Giant's off into the distance right now, a long way away.
Yeah.
This Glory's going to start turning up the heat with this prep raiding party.
DawN's hoping. No Edwin, please.
Oh, it looks like an Edwin as well, doesn't
does.
it? You know, with the one
like,
drop, and you're like, no!
He's like, wait a second.
Okay.
Okay.
And with arcane missiles as well, definitely not the worst outcome that could have happened.
You could even just play a Rabble Bouncer, especially the second popping up. You could play Ziliax.
Could Rabble Bouncer, then arcane missiles.
Exactly. The thing with Ziliax is it cleanly uses all your 5 mana and it kills the Dread Corsair, but the Rabble Bouncers are harder to play, and the payoff can be pretty big. If this Rabble Bouncer sticks around, you have Conjurer's Calling. Make 2 7-drops.
Past turn 5, Ziliax is just always good.
This was beautiful. Killed both deck. Yeah, you see Glory like, oh, that's
I love the way
rough.
DawN's even surprised himself. He was like, oh.
I guess that works sometimes, yeah.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Especially just the 1 ping to the 3/2 means that there's no value trade. But there's a walk the plank. You see the little fishes there dive out after the kill. So this allows Glory to keep pushing. You see the value of the card now, right?
Yeah.
In the matchup. Oh, you put a big awkward minion in the way. 4 mana gone. I'm going to keep pressuring you.
Let's do it again. See if you have another thing. So DawN knows that Glory has at least a Waggle pick in hand because of the raiding party that came out earlier. So Glory could, if he wants to, just trade 7 damage to this Rebel Bouncer, get it off the board. So DawN knows that this is probably going to fall over, and past this, what's his game plan? I guess with the Harrison draw, he wants the weapon to come out so that he can just get rid of it, take the card draw, get closer to Giant Conch Calling.
I'd be a little bit surprised. He's going to coin, okay. I wondered if he was going to actually just swing and then Abyss and just push 3 more. But with this, you equip the weapon, you save the Eviscerate for face damage, and you just develop a bigger minion. Now, we can see, obviously, that it's going to be completely blown out of the water with this Harrison play.
This Harrison's going to be right on. Perfect. Yep. Henge Clan gets bounced back. Henge Clan thugs were originally running the rogue list, but people found they were a bit too clunky with the waggle picks, especially when people started taking weapon removal. Yep. It turns out like the Henge Clan being bounced is kind of frustrating. And although it is good against the Mana Cyclone Mage because there's not an early answer for it, you still can't get punished with weapon removal when the Henge Clan's out.
Yeah, I love this point in the game as well, because right now I'm going to guess what Glory's thinking. Okay, he removed 2 weapons. I pick, I deadly poison, I play my thug, I go chuck everything to face, and then either Leroy, based on the next draw, or just Myra's Hope at this point, because he is falling behind so hard that you have to all in. And to me, this is the true power of Rogue. When things are going a little bit bad, you just press the emergency button that is Myra's, and you can still just win.
Yeah,
and that's
the Myra's just got picked up,
yeah.
so that signals to Glory along with Harrison. All right, let's get there. Put DawN down to 10 health. Let's escalate this.
So there could be the Evocation Giant into Conjurers and go for the taunts.
I'd be very surprised to see that. I think the safe mirror images coming out here would be the way to go, just because you can play either the Ziliax by itself with the images, or you can go images, even just the Giant, and then set it for the Conjurer's Calling next turn. That images draw is very important because it means that you don't have to take a gamble on either the Evocation Giant Conch Calling, or even just playing up the Zilix itself. If it gets sapped, you're dead to Leroy. Or in another Abyss, for example. So I think this is the most defensive line you can take. He can decide to go Conj, Mana Cyclone as well, refill his hand a
Why
bit.
not? Yeah, why not at this point?
Make sure your hand stays a bit bigger so that you still have the option to go Mountain Giant, Conj Calling, perhaps
And also,
next turn.
you can generate spells that win you the game, right? I mean,
Research Project.
Ice Barrier, for example, could be insane. Even damage to actually
Frostbolt
finish the game. Yeah.
to freeze his face as well. Research Project is actually very interesting, and it's most of the time you don't want to help your opponent draw cards, but when they have no cards left in the deck, Research Project just becomes Burst.
It's actually kind of... It's just one, right? Because Research Project fatigues him for what? He's going to take one Netsuko, 1-2, so it's...
And then the 3, so you take 6 damage. So right now Research Project is going to do 6 damage. So depending on how Glory cracks this board...
It'll be more though, right? Because then you'll draw the following turn.
So Research Project makes both players draw 2 cards. So right now Glory would draw 1 fatigue damage, 2...
Oh, sure, yes, he's not drawn yet.
Yeah, he
sorry,
hasn't drawn yet.
For some reason, I keep thinking Myra would for some reason, drew him an extra card,
Gotcha.
like past 0. But yeah, no, you're right, 6.
So Glory with 2 backstabs drawn can clean up the Ziliax without letting DawN heal. Debating if he wants to SI it or just miscreant with the other backstab. I think you want the SI on the board. Tread Corsair, and he saves the Waggle Pick. Is there some sort of lethal here? 7 plus the 6 damage we're talking about if you Conj Calling the Dread Corsair.
Cinderstorm can be pretty sweet.
Barrier.
So if Cinderstorm is fortunate and puts the 2 to face,
Perhaps.
with the ping it does it, right?
So DawN could take a Missile Cinderstorm, and with Conj Calling the Dread Corsair to get past that. Or just, actually, is this enough damage by itself? Wait, so 6, 22, 7 plus 8, 15. No. So if you had gone Missile Cinderstorm, it would have been guaranteed. Another taunt from DawN. So he takes a more defensive option here. Since he can't set up guaranteed lethal, he's going for the Ice Barrier. Conjurer's Calling the Harrison left over, and it looks like another taunt.
I think you just pinged, right?
Yeah, I don't
You
think
don't need to research.
yeah.
Research Project only gets better.
Right.
As time goes on, it's only going to do more damage to Glory. And yeah, you know what? There's all the crazy wins, and turns you could make that last turn. And if this hits this and this does that, or you could just do this and pretty much guarantee a win anyway.
Yep.
So, full respect to DawN there, just not getting carried away like I would have, and him just gone, you know what, this is a better play, it's stronger, I'm not susceptible to certain removal, and there's nothing that really gets him to 10. It's just going through checking. Has he just got the lethal threat anyway?
Nope. It had to be exactly Barrier.
Yeah, wow.
So if DawN didn't have the extra taunt there, it would have been a bit...
So he could have had lethal if he didn't play the Hench Clan, right?
The Hench Clan was 1 mana.
Oh, he would have gone to 2, not 3, right? He would have gone to 2, not 3, yeah.
So the Research Project is going to close out the game.
And there we go. DawN takes the win. That game was tricky.
No, that game was close. The Ice Barrier did end up winning DawN the game.
And that's one of the strengths, right?